Hi guys, welcome back to the world. It's your bowl of noodles, slurp noodles, and chat. I'm the host Jordan Ibukwe, and thank you guys so much for just being here. Please like, share, and subscribe. Subscribe. We need the support, you guys. Just thank you so much for being here, and thank you again. And let's get into the episode. And today we have a very special guest. Please give it up for Mr. Jonathan Banda, speaking from Zambia. He is honestly so phenomenal and just helping the youth in his country. And just thank you so much, Mr. Jonathan, for being here.
Everybody, I'm Jonathan Banda, is in Zambia, southern part of Africa. So I'm a children's rights activist, tech enthusiast, and not forgetting human rights advocate. Thank you. Youth development and children's rights, because we know that's one of the most important, some of the most important things the continent is facing and the world at large. And to top it in making the world a better place.
As someone who works closely with young people across different communities, what do you believe is the greatest challenge facing Zambia's youth today, and what opportunities do you see that could unlock the country's next generation of young leaders?
All right, thank you. So in Zambia, we have very passionate youth in different fields. And of course, when it comes to opportunities, they do face challenges accessing them. Personally, I've also faced challenges, but we have very incredible young people who are passionate either about advocacy, politics, and either cultural exchange programs. But the accessibility to programs, to opportunities, is very limited. Of course, they might need full registrations here and there, and of course, to access opportunities, you need to have a very big record behind you to back you up. For them, if you have little record, you might consider as maybe you want to use the funds for either for your personal use and all those things. So the way the credentials, or maybe let me just say the qualifications for one to to access these opportunities, it's very high. It's very high, and young people are unable to access them because it revolves around the sun cycle. So I feel like it's the challenge about on how these stakeholders are not making these opportunities available for everyone. And of course, personally, I've had young people who are 15 and 16, 17 and 18 reach out to me saying, have organizations which are very biased in age requirements. They might raise out an opportunity saying, no, we need individuals who are like 16 to 23 or 18 to 25. But if you say the selected individuals, they will be above maybe 22. That will be the majority, 22, 23, and 24. In a case where they need from 16 to 21, you have individuals from 18 to the same 21. So it's about how they are not making it convenient and available for everyone as they say they are doing so. So I feel like that has been the biggest challenge.
Which is
Thank
honestly
you.
true because and even this happens in USA, a lot of young people don't have the opportunities. It can just be transportation. It can be other things too, like some economic factors as well. But providing them accessibility, something easier to access, and also technology is not really granted for a lot of people. And so young people have a lot. We have a handful of like resources, but it's just not distributed equally among us, especially around the world. And so thank you for touching that, Mr. Jonathan, about, of course, limited resources. But truly, you have shown resilience and determination and have overcome so many things that even that can't stop us. So truly, that's what matters. And I know that through your work with Child Sphere Initiative and other organizations, you've touched many lives. Looking back, is there a particular story or moment that reminded you why your work matters and reinforced your commitment to serving communities across Zambia?
All right, thank you very much. So it so happened that at the time I was launching Child Sphere, I discovered in a world where we say we don't have, in a capital city where we say everyone lives a better life, it was sad to see that there are young kids in kindergarten to grade 7 who are using two classes, and there are over 350. Mind you, these kids sit on the floor, and we're approaching winter, and it's really sad to see that we had those kids who are in kindergarten sitting on the floor, and there's no proper ventilation. For me, that was a very bad, a very sad incident I had to face. And moreover, we also looked at the menstrual health for young girls, where government has been working on donating free sanitary pads. And I do appreciate fellow advocates who have been working around the same menstrual health. It has really been something which youths are pioneering right now more than other stakeholders, because young people know how it feels to go in a class, you don't have sanitary pads and all those things. For me, that has been the challenge. And with my little uh, equipment I have, I'm trying to work hard to reach those goals. Because for me, seeing a fellow young person suffering in a way which is unacceptable, to say so. We say we need quality education, but for them, they're not accessing quality education. We might have those numbers, the statistics saying, oh no, the world's now changing. Everyone is accessing education at its best and all those things. But if we go in the communities, we discover that young people who are not accessing the same education they do access with the neighboring school. There are two schools, you find the other ones are sitting on desks and all those things, but the neighboring school is unable to access those things. So for me, it's about promoting quality education and menstrual hygiene, and of course, the rights of a child. Because those seeing young people, I experienced a friend of mine, she was raped to death. So that was one of the saddest thing I had to encounter last year. She was raped to death, and of course, it was never a good experience for me. Seeing it that the first an individual who knows about advocacy and all those things, and the people in the community, the boys in the community, of course, had to resort to that extent. So for me, these are the incidents which have sparked me, have encouraged me to move further and advocate for young people. Thank you.
That's and thank you so much for what you're doing. And of course, issues like that are just everywhere, and we need to really address it. And of course, like you said, children do not need to be punished for going to school. Just like what you said about the classrooms. It doesn't make sense for why children are not given seats, given accessible education, aren't giving those resources when really the world is developing every single day. And so with internet, you would think that us living in a modern society, everyone will have all the equal resources, but really that's not the case. And so, of course, it's sad, but really people like you, Mr. Jonathan, are making a way that it's easier for children to, of course, overcome them and, of course, get to a place where they can be in higher positions and as well get to their dreams. And I do know that, of course, as a human rights activist, what are some of the most important conversations that Zambia needs to have today regarding equality, youth participation, and community development? And how can ordinary citizens become a part of the solution?
All right. So thank you very much. I would also want to appreciate my country. It has been trying by all means to interpret these constitutions, the laws, and involving young people in these conversations. In the past, we would have young people, maybe 10 in a room, which involves a conversation which has been affecting young people. You find there are less than 10 young people. And with the involvement of the government involving young people, youths in our national parliament, with the addition of 20 seats, that has also really encouraged, say, the government has been trying by all means and has been hearing the cries of the young people out there. Because we also wanted to see how best we can participate in national affairs, and we've been given that opportunity. Of course, it took a lot of advocacy, even way before us. There are people who and their energies to advocate for youth involvement in policy making and dialogues. Of course, I've been part of youth dialogues and policy making. And for me, I don't take that lightly. And through my social media, through TikTok, I've been able to share my view and explain it in a layman's language. For that one person who doesn't understand the Constitution, I try by all means to explain it in a way that they'll be able to understand it. So that has been the work I've been putting in behind, and also commending to the government because our cries have been heard as young people in policy involvement. So I was trying to say we have made sure that young people are actually involved, actively involved in policy making, because we understand that it's a very important and critical issue to address as a nation. So that has been the work which has been put on behind, and don't take that lightly. Of course, people who are not being put in that room. Of course, not everyone can be involved in a room, can be put to make the policies of the nation. But if I get a chance to do so, I try by all means to explain it to another individual who doesn't understand.
Exactly. And just the government too. We really have to, of course, advocate constantly for our rights. And as well as like with your country, I know that Zambia is as well doing well, way beyond, of course, with including the youth and as well as other countries as well. But of course, there's still a lot of work to do. And of course, the youth can still have a platform, can still have more spaces where our voices are heard and considered. But that will take time because, of course, there are other people older who think youth and our voices are not significant or can't add on to anything. But that's a lie, clearly. But really advocating more and as well as bringing up this discussion constantly towards people older or towards people in high positions can really help create meaningful impact in every country. And I wanted to get into the last question, and I wanted to know what is your, of course, final message that you want to address to the audience and as well as to your country?
I would want to revolve around my works, of course, or things I've been doing. And I was recently rejected for funding because of not having a registration and all those things. And I've been doing that, putting the work and almost registering. But it's a question I would want to bring out before I answer the question. Sorry. So, does our advocacy work account for registration? Do we need a physical registration to maybe reach out and impact, to bring out change there? For an individual who has been stopping thinking they have to get a registration to do all those things, I feel like that can come later. But as long as it's about the passion you have actually been putting in, it's better you put out the passion work and see how best you can incorporate yourself with other individuals surrounding your work and make the change, because advocacy is something which needs to be coming from deep down your heart. Of course, it has to be something with your passion of becoming an advocate. Just try to find your space, find your space, find what you're good at. And I'm really happy to be part of this podcast because it shows that young people around the world are engaging and all have the same goal at the end of the day. And through that, I would also want to bring out the idea of stereotyping. You don't have to do it. You might actually be the first individual to bring out a case and pioneer a program, of course. It might be through mental health, children's rights, ultimately human rights, and all those things. So I feel like it's in the same circle that we would also want to leave a message out there for individuals who want to begin this journey. And I would definitely encourage young people to join this journey because it not only gives you an opportunity to be yourself, but others save lives. You might be saving lives unknowingly. Through my journey, it has been a hard journey through social media to being out there because, oh no, another person going out there and associating with people who are less privileged. Someone might take it as aesthetically pleasing, of course. But if you're doing it for the passion and keeping back at the back of your mind that these are individuals, these are human lives like me, it's just I had an upper hand to get opportunity, and how best can I share my opportunity? So I feel like these would be my last words. And thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jonathan. And of course, you're so right. Platforms, of course, like my podcast, but the youth are doing such a great job all over the world. I've talked to people my age and younger, and as well as your age, who are just so committed and so well driven and who want to bring change to their communities. And it's just it's so beautiful how, as far away as we are, we have the same connection, have the same dream to change the world and make it better. And of course, it will get there, but it just needs time and effort. And thank you so much for your work in Zambia. And we are, of course, supporting you in the States and as well as Nigeria. And just thank you so much for what you are doing. And I want to thank my audience and just please have a wonderful, wonderful day.